Have you ever heard of Jailbreak? It's a game that used to be in the front page most of the time back in 2017, and it still maintained the popularity to this day. Until Adopt Me became a thing, but I'm gonna talk about that later in the future. And I hope not. It's a game based on cops and robbers genre, where you essentially become a robber or a cop. As a robber, your job is simple. All you have to do is to steal anything valuable and take it home safely. And as a cop, you have to prevent the robber from stealing the valuables, but instead, take them back into jail and claim their bounties. Seems fun on the surface, but Jailbreak kinda adds a core feature to their game to innovate something that is quite different from their previous successor. Prison Life first released in May 2014, with the same genre, cops and robbers. Except there's no robbers, only criminals. The game itself is very linear. All you have to do is to escape from the prison and fight against the cops, while the cops try to stop the prisoner from escaping. There's not really much anything to do here other than a very fun, engaging shooting mechanic. It is simple back then. There were not many progressions in the game, but that doesn't mean it hinders the fun elements in the game. I love Prison Life for being itself, and I really wanted to review this game due to its popularity spike ever since in 2017. Today in this topic, I'll be reviewing and criticizing Jailbreak. Alright, where do I start? Jailbreak is a game made by Asimo and BatCC. And how do they met? BatCC and Asimo are business partners. They're more of acquaintance, but throughout the years, I'm pretty sure they have become more than just a business partners. BatCC is a college student who worked passionately on Jailbreak. He's a good scripter and making all the games from the ground up, when his business partners Asimo works on the stuff and the model. I don't know how long they made the game, and I'm just guessing it's around 5 or 6 months in the making. I highly doubt the game was made in 2 or 3 years. Since the first release, there wasn't really much anything to do in the game during the first release. Back then, it was so simple, but now it's more than just simple. Let's put history lessons aside and we're going to review the game. Let's start with a prisoner. You, as a prisoner, sentenced for life in the prison. There is no reason behind why you were sentenced in the prison in Jailbreak world. What have you committed, and what makes you condemned serving your entire life in the prison? So therefore, you start planning on escaping the prison. And how do you escape from the prison? Well, just look for the obvious stuff and you're free. There are like 4 escapes around in the game, and most of them don't really need to give an effort into it. The most obvious one is the electrical box, as if people can't even read it. It opens the door, and you leave the bar, and then you escape. I wonder why the government didn't even try to fix one of the main issues in the prison. Hell, I still think escaping the prison life is more immersive than this. The second one is exploding through the wall? Wait, where do you even get explosive anyway? Man, this prison safety is horrible. Not even a contraband detector, not even a single prison checkup, not even a single guard in the area. Man, no wonder why this city is fucked up. Anyway, I hope this one's even better or worse. Yep, just an open sewage for everyone to access in the prison. I wonder what the fuck they were smoking when the architect building the prison. Oh yeah, let's put a fucking drain system next to the police station. Huh? Yeah, I agree. Seriously? Who are you? None of your goddamn business. Now die. Did you know one of the most immersive escape routes in the game of history? Something that not even Prison Life can even get more immersive than this. Something that is far more than Redwood Prison. And do you know what that is? The vent escape. You heard me right. All you have to do is to steal a keycard from the police guard, and then you run back into the prison cell, get into the ventilation, then you start crawling, and you have just escaped from prison. Wow. That still fucking sucks. I wonder why you even need a keycard to access the ventilation anyway. Is this a lazy game design? Why not have a crowbar somewhere in the map? What happens if the prison goes black out? Will the door just open by itself and then the outbreak happens? There's not even a single backup generator in the prison. Then how the fuck the prison is still up to this day? It should have been abandoned a long time ago. What's the lore behind it? I'm impressed how badly the prison in this game is. I don't know if there's a redeeming quality in this prison, but let's look around the prison a little bit more. Well, you have a lot of jail cells, you have a cafeteria, outdoor gym, and a yard. Hold on a minute. There's no shower or even a laundry? Anyway, what can you do in this prison other than escaping? Honestly, there's nothing to do in the prison. The announcer does tell you shit, but it doesn't feel enforced, considering the fact the front yard door is always open day and night. And if you are looking around for anything, you're basically wasting your time. You won't be able to find anything if you try to search around. You can't even lift the weight. I mean, you can use a treadmill, but it doesn't do anything. You can also use a trampoline, and you can also launch yourself out the map. The vending machine doesn't work. The food isn't edible. I really thought Jailbreak will get the food update where you can interact with the food like in prison life. But nope, you get this. You know, one of those fake plastic foods and being used in the showcase? Yeah, that one. Just like this. And we are being served by this? I want to talk to the prison chef because I want to complain about... Wait, there's no chef? Who's cooking then? And where does the supplier coming from? Who's going to feed us? Not even the game itself got it right. The prison itself is probably one of the most underutilized and neglected features in the game. One of the few examples here is the cabinet feature in the prison cell. There's one game pass that allows you to put more items in the cabinet and anybody can pick it up. I wonder what this feature is for. If you ever play The Escapist, I think this feature was meant to hide the contraband and hide it in your cell room, so no cops can try to arrest you for having a contraband in your inventory. I think this is what the devil were trying to make during the build of Jailbreak and attempt to make Prison Escape to be more fun and engaging. But your audience size become in love with Jailbreak not because of the prison itself, but the game itself as a whole, where you can rob the bank and the world building itself. So this kinda makes the developer move towards making a new heist and places to rob instead of making the game on how they intended. But that's just a theory in my head. No, not you, MatPat. Get down. The prison concept is good, but it's extremely lackluster. I don't see the point of going back into the prison after you escape. It's just a repeated process but with more annoyance. Honestly, being a prisoner felt nothing but a waste of potential. The jam is already cracked and will never be the same ever again. Well, I had enough of being a prisoner, so let's get the fuck out of here. So, you already escaped from the prison. Is there anything you can do in this game? Well, a lot honestly. You can drive around the city and look around the landscape. You can go to the gun stores, you can go to donut shop, you can go to dealerships, and there are many places that I don't want to mention. You can upgrade your car by driving into the garage. You can fly with your car. What's that? A plane? Well, you can complete a minigame, a trial above the clouds. Skydiving, trains, the apartment. What else do you want? Oh, right. You can also rob a bank. Since the game mainly focuses on robbing stuff rather than the jail itself, let's start off with a bank. The bank is like the main course of the game during the first release. In order to enter the bank, all you need is the key card to be able to access the gate. And do you know where you get the key card? Well, if you try to look around the police station, you won't find anything other than guns hanging on the wall. So, you can't find the key card, and where do you find it? Well, if you find any cops, kill them. They have a chance of dropping a key card or a gun. or nothing at all. So in order to get into a bank, you have to kill a cop or pickpocket a guard in a prison. Then once you enter the bank, the alarm starts to sound for whatever reason. And why do you have a C4 all of a sudden? Why not just bomb the entrance and fuck the keycard? And why is the keycard is like the most important thing? What is this? SCP-05 card? And what makes me confused is that why does the alarm sound when you enter the bank? I know the developer put that feature as intention to make the cops arrive as soon as possible, but if you ask me, it doesn't make any sense because there's nothing to trigger to cause the alarm to start. This just kinda puts it off as lazy game design. If you watch most of the heist related movies or video games, the alarm always sounds whenever something is cracked or something that caused the alarm to trigger. I really wish there are more subtle ways to do this heist, where you can go stealth by using the keycard, or go loud where you can go blow up the entrance causing the alarm to go off. It's just such a missed opportunity, honestly. I really wish the developer really put effort into it, but I guess what done is already done. Anyway, enough babbling about the entrance, let's get into the bank. The bank has many different layouts. Each time you finish or raid the bank, the layout will change. It's kinda cool to see different things to make something fresh out of it. It's pretty cool, I kinda like it. Most of the layouts looks nice to look at, but that doesn't mean it's easy. I like challenges, but when the challenge is extremely hard, especially in a grindy game, I tend to avoid it to preserve my sanity. Take an example on Presidential Vault. Just look at it. It looks a bit ridiculous if you ask me. You have to stand still to get the money. This isn't something where you can just put your money in your bag. This room is filled with death traps. If you remember that one iconic laser scene in Resident Evil movie, that's what I thought of. And the reward isn't really that interesting, so if you ever see a sign that says Presidential Vault, just forget it, not even worth the risk. Especially when you have a keycard on yourself. There are many different kinds of banks, but I don't want to record them all because it has a random chance to spawn one of these, so it's difficult. And I don't have a gaming PC, by the way. Robbing the bank is easy. All you have to do is just dodging most of the lasers the game throws at you. And then you open the vault and you have to stand on the circle to get the money. It's not really that in-depth or interesting, but passable I guess. But the fact that you need a keycard in order to access the bank just kinda makes me don't want to do the heist in the first place. I guess that's it for the bank. Now let's ramble about the jewelry store. Jewelry is a second store to rob in Jailbreak. It doesn't require a keycard, but instead, you can break the window store without raising the alarm. Logic. Once you get into jewelry, the game literally floods with another laser. It's kind of annoying that whenever you enter during heist, and laser is like one of the big issue in this game. Like, I'm honestly glad GTA doesn't have laser anywhere in this game. Though some of the heists doesn't have laser, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, you break the glass and the alarm sets off. Like, is there a way to disable the alarm? I mean, it should have. Like, come on, I'm pretty sure this jewelry was referenced in GTA 5, considering the fact that you have to break the glass and start stealing. But I could be wrong. Once you fill up your bag with jewelry, you should exit on the... Oh wait, you're locked in. Wait, you have to run upstairs to get out? What? Yeah, this whole building is jewelry. Instead of apartment buildings where people live, it's just more lasers and huge diamond jewels? What? Not even a back door, not even a cash register. Like, this place was purposely made to be stolen. I tend to avoid jewelry store because it's just so annoying. Once you reach the top, be careful though. There's usually cops that camps behind the door, but you can see it on the map. But the mini-map is too small, so most of the time I don't bother looking anyway. You jump off the building and open the parachute and glide to the criminal base. Wait, criminal base? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that one. Criminal base is a place where criminals spawn. You can get change, get guns, and that's it. There's nothing much you can do in the base, except it's not safe. The police can get into the criminal base, so it sucks honestly. So yeah, grab a gun and just get out. Why even bother? You get a lot of jewelry if you have a duffel bag game pass. The next stop is donut shop and gas station. They're pretty simple, nothing much to talk about. It's basically like GTA 5 where you can rob the store, except they don't fight back or do anything. So yeah, it sucks. Getting up to the train is fairly easy though. You can just jump off the bridge or climb any ledges you see, mostly on the blue freight. And you want to find the red freight in this train. You open the hatch and get in. You blow up the vault and easy cash. Yeah, this is boring. I have a problem though. The police can just sneak up to you and arrest you. Like, there's no close combat in this game. Sure, you have a punch, but good luck trying to fight that against a handcuff. Anyway, once your bag is full, you can just open the gate and jump off. Easy. There's nothing really cool about this heist. It's pretty straightforward and kind of bland. I don't mean you have to put lasers though, that'd be too annoying. Anyway... This museum is big. I like it. The front door doesn't work, same goes for both of these doors. So the only entrance here is by blowing a hole. So now there's a camera and you don't want to be spotted, or otherwise it will trigger the alarm and will damage you if you get spotted for some reason. This is unnecessary. Why does the camera have to hurt? Considering the fact the police can... Oh wait, what? The police can't enter the museum? Okay, from what I perceive, I think the developer wants to make the cops to stay outside to make sure the criminals are being surrounded by the cops. But in reality case, these cops are too dumb to think rationally but waiting outside to camp. And the second problem is that you can't even shoot with your guns when you're holding a stack. Like, considering the fact you have one of your arms unoccupied and yet you can't even equip a secondary pistol. This shit is ridiculous. Oh, sorry, I got carried out. Anyway, is there anything valuable in this museum? I mean, you can sell traffic cones to some crazy dude and you get like thousands of dollars. This heist is really cool though, but you need 2 people to beat this heist. There are puzzles in the museum, but the puzzle isn't really that hard. I guess it's okay. You can also get a revolver, which is only exclusive for the criminals, since the police can't even enter the museum. This one is even better than a cargo train. It spawns during rain or night. I don't know why, but maybe the train is possessed, considering the fact there were no passengers on this train. Though it says passengers, but there's nobody here. You get up on the carriage and break the glass, and there are many kinds of loot you can get. And then you sell this stuff to the crazy dude. It's nothing special, honestly. It felt like a cargo train, but you have stuff to do instead of just waiting in the circle. If you wait at a train station, the passenger train will open the briefcase vault and it will give a lot of money. It's kind of cool, but again, nothing special. I don't know why you will steal something from the power plant. Kind of reminds me of GTA San Andreas where you steal the thing and give it to the truth. You go to this panel and start rewiring minigame. The hacking minigame kind of reminds me of pole matching lines. You guys remember that from the mobile early days? It's very easy. You don't necessarily need to fill up the entire thing. This heist structure is really weird. Why would you go into the conveyor? What is this? Toy Store? Anyway, you get this uranium rod, and you have to bring this back as soon as possible. The faster you arrive, the more cash you get. The obstacle is really hard for the first time, but if you get a grasp from it, it is really worth it. It's really cool though. The power plant is probably one of the best things in the game. Again, I still don't get it why you would steal it from the power plant. This one is pretty generic. You get into the plane and steal a crate, but you have to wait for the plane to fly for whatever reason. In case if you're late, you can open the hatch on this plane and get in. Pretty cool. When the plane starts to fly, you'll be given a prompt that allows you to take a crate. Although, if you want to get off the plane, you need a key card. But I don't have a key card. Though there is a keycard inside the crate, there's a 1 in 7 chance that you might be able to get a keycard, since they are hidden inside the crate. But the time it takes is extremely long. You can only get 3 or 4 crates per ride, so it's pretty random. And if you don't have a keycard, this happens. Like, why does everything need a keycard? Imagine you're in a plane and every room filled with snakes. You want to get to the next cabin because the current one you're in is infested by the snakes. So you open the door. Uh-oh, you forgot your keycard, so you die. Imagine you're driving a car, trying to get away from the Raid Shadow Man. Oh no, you see a roadblock in front of you. You step on the brake. Uh-oh, you forgot your keycard. Anyway, where were we? Right, if you have a mobile shop, you can spawn a car inside the plane and glitch out. So take that, keycard. Okay, cargo ship is the brand new one. Basically, you need a helicopter. You drop the road and start heading towards the ship. This is probably one of my favorite heists in the game. It felt different than the rest. You'll be in contact with an anti-aircraft that starts shooting on you. Be careful though, there are 2 rockets that are firing at you simultaneously. So if you stand still, you might get hurt from it, or your helicopter might crash down and lead to your own demise. All you have to do is try to grab the cargo from the ship, and then you want to start flying away as soon as possible. Fly to the harbor and your job will be finished. It's pretty cool. Overall, I think some of the heists in this game is okay, and there are some that I don't like. Bank was the coolest one, but the requirement for the keycards kinda turned me down. Jewelry was a mess, not my favorite. Donut shop and gas station are okay, they're not special. Cargo train is okay, but kinda feels lacking and just straight up boring. Museum is cool and all, but Passenger train is also cool, but it's the same as the cargo train. The power plant is pretty cool. Cargo plane is really cool concept, but the requirement is trash. And finally, cargo ship. It's also pretty cool, my favorite. There's also a briefcase, but that's not a heist. I guess that's all for the heist. You probably noticed this bounty on your down left corner above the map. Basically, if you kill a police or completing a heist, you will gain a bounty. Your maximum bounty is 10k and you can't reach more than that. So if you ever get arrested, you'll be sent into a different place.
Where have I? What in the name of God? What's the crap?
Alright, enough Ruben Sim impression. Let's talk about guns. The guns are like the main part for the game to fend off the police, especially when the police have an OP tool which is known as handcuffs. Back then, the gun used to be an absolute garbage, but now since they improved the gunplay, all the guns felt useful now. Sort of. Remember what I said previously that Prison Life has a very fun and engaging shooting mechanic? Apparently, it does apply to this game, and it's great, but kinda wonky. I remember back then when third-person mode wasn't implemented in Jailbreak, but later it was implemented after Mad City took the crown. Says copying who, huh? At least Mad City doesn't have a broken shooting mechanic in this game. While Jailbreak third-person mode is a mess? I mean, you can pay attention to the hand movement here. That doesn't look right. This is problematic when you're using a gun inside a building. When you try to move with your guns out, the camera will tamper itself like Super Mario 64. And that's not good, so most of the time you'll be using first person mode while using a gun. When you equip a gun, you'll go into a badly constructed shift lock. It's pretty annoying honestly, but it can be effective in some cases, but it's awfully executed. It kinda reminds me of GTA 3 crosshair mechanic, except worse. I'm glad Mad City literally took effort into making third person mode playable, and it's better than this. The third person mode should do a rework. It's bad honestly. So what about the guns? The gun design is pretty cool, but the skin is grayed out and looks lifeless due to the lack of color variants. Compared to other games, you'll see why. They don't really look that appealing. I like some of the old models because they fit and do look appealing. Just look at it. I liked it. It looks better. The silencer pistol doesn't even look like a silencer. It's more of a muzzle instead of silencer. There's not many weapons in this game. It lacks some of the variety. I really think P90 would work in Jailbreak rather than some guns that just don't seem to fit in Jailbreak theme. There are many kinds of weapons that I would love to suggest, but I doubt the developer even care or watch this video anyway. The weapon damage is kinda questionable. Most of the weapons in this game can be very unreliable. One of the most important things to talk about is shotgun. If you manage to point blank someone with a shotgun, the max damage you'll be dealing is 30. So if you're fighting against a laggy dumb mobile user, you'll lose. Using a shotgun in short range is kind of useless honestly. The accuracy is atrocious. I love shotgun in general, but Jailbreak shotgun? Meh, miss me with that shit. Also for the melee, it sucks. They don't really serve any purpose unless you want to get arrested. There's really nothing to talk about this one. Anyway, let's move on to police team. Police team is the vital part in this game, and you want to make sure the criminals don't escape and provide safety for all businesses and all the citizens. You work for the government and make sure your job doesn't make the city unsafe. Playing as a police officer felt like a competitive base team. As a criminal, most of the time you'll be minding your own business just to get the money, while the enforcers are the opposite. I'm sorry that I have to use enforcers more than police because they sound a bit awkward to me. Every time you see a criminal or a group of criminals, you have to engage in combat if you want to arrest everyone. So your only main objective here is to ruin the criminals' fun by arresting them, which I kind of felt bad. Now, one of the biggest controversial tools is handcuff. It's specifically a tool for quick arrest. I don't like how you can just arrest out of thin air when someone is currently running. I really wish when you get caught, you will have to do some certain quick time events where you have to free yourself from sending back to prison. You know, player versus player minigame. I just don't like the idea where you get arrested out of thin air. This isn't something where the police just gonna grab your back and remember all your face. This is just an arrest with no restriction. You can also get freed if your teammate helps you break out, but in result, all your goods are now forfeit. So yeah, you lost everything. Pretty annoying. The cops rarely use any guns. They mostly run towards you with handcuffs like a dumbass. Anyway, aside from the criminal, let's go back to the police perspective. If the criminal is far away, you can shoot them to slow them down. But it comes with a risk. The criminals can fight back, which is also problematic. And if it's a group of criminals, you can't stop them all at once. so they may as well get into the car and run away, which is annoying honestly. You can shoot the car, which it does help, but good luck trying to shoot it off. If they die, you won't be able to arrest them anymore, and if they get away, well, they get away. And pursuing them doesn't help either. Due to Roblox physics, you can't slam them off the car. What the fuck? So it's pretty futile if you want to continue the arrest. I'm really glad Mad City has this feature where people will get knocked out rather than drop dead. Also, spike traps are a really good addition to the game. It really improves so much for the police team to capture any criminals in the game. Now, let's talk about the SWAT Game Pass. The SWAT Game Pass is an additional feature for the police team. It costs 350 Robux, which is almost full 10 bucks for the Game Pass. What it gives is a new costume, which kinda looks cool, which is purely for cosmetic. And you will get an upgrade suppressor for your pistol, which doesn't affect anything at all. And it looks ugly. You get an M4, which is slightly faster than AK, but a bit weaker in terms of damage. You get a SWAT van, which is oblivious to other vehicles, and the minigun mount is horrible, so don't even try. And lastly, you get a riot shield. Now I want to primarily focus on riot shield. It's not great, it slows you down when you're using it, but the best part is that it reduces the damage that you get, which is pretty powerful, even with the explosive. But the problem here is that it doesn't cover most of your body parts, and if you start walking, your head is exposed for the criminals to shoot. Do keep in mind that you can't fire back at the criminals, which kinda makes it worthless to use. And the mount minigun sucks. Look at the range and the damage. It's horrible. It really makes me think that Riot Game Pass is better than SWAT Game Pass. Although, if you know how to use Riot Shield in some certain place, it's really beneficial in some cases. But again, it sucks. And the model looks horrible. What's with the cracks? It looks ugly. Anyway, enough talking about the Game Pass. Let's see here. What else can you do as a police officer? Nothing. Yep. You heard me right, nothing. You can steal stuff in passenger trains, and that's it. You can also steal cargo from the cargo ship, which is the same. Do understand that you are working with the government, so I don't think it is legal. Military bases don't add anything. There's honestly nothing really engaging as police team. There's no balance between the criminals and the police. The game itself is a static shot. There's nothing impactful for the police team to do the right thing. It just makes the police team one of the bunch asshole rather than actually serving a good purpose for the government in the city itself. The bank should give an impact if the police was unable to stop the criminal from stealing the money, meaning the bank reward will be reduced by 25% or might be permanently closing due to the incompetence of the police team. If some of the places closes down, the police team's salary will be cut for repair and debt, and if crime persists in the city, the consequences will be harsh. There should be a point where the police team and the criminal team has to be balanced. If the criminals keep robbing the store to the point where no stores are open anymore, the city itself will become hollow and the city will look a bit grim and shows no sign of life, and only bad people roam around the city. If you think about it, it's a pretty cool concept. But I really doubt Bad CC and Asimo will even do something like this. They might as well make a new heist rather than making something fresh for the game. But I guess that's that. Also, if you want to implement this idea, you need to change some of the rewards. Anyway, I guess that's all for the police team. Alright, I guess I already talked about most of the teams in this game. Well, what about cars? Car is pretty cool. I love most of the cars in this game. They're awesome and the driving mechanic is good, except for the drift. It's not that perfect, it feels like driving on an ice rink, but I don't mind. There is also a plane in this game. Since I never ride it, I'm gonna buy it. The plane control is awful. Why not use WASD? What is this? The boats are near useless in this game. They don't really benefit at all when you can drive underwater like in SpongeBob. There are many vehicles that serve some purpose, but most of the time, they're useless. Why even use ambulance when you already have a Bugatti? Why even use a fire truck when you have a Bugatti? Though you can heal yourself if you sit on the back of the ambulance, but I never find it useful when you can have a donut on your hand. Fire truck is to extinguish fires, but the fires really don't cause that big of a problem, honestly. It's kind of sad that this vehicle has its own purpose, literally overshadowed by robbery in this game. I just like the concept, but it's not really that broad open, especially when you want to attempt to make a game like Ultimate Driving, but it's Jailbreak. It just doesn't work unless there is a civilian role. If there's none, then there's no point in adding this type of vehicle because they're useless and don't serve any good purpose at all. Now we're going to talk about one of the forgotten and abandoned feature in this game.
So, Mr. Crest said we should talk about work, but not here. So is there a room in the back or something? Cool, I'll get set up. So, Mr. Crest said you might be able to help me out with something.
Apartment is a feature that was added back in 2017. It's a place where you can hang out with your friends and customize your apartment. It's a place where the police can't really get you, but you have to pay the rent every 24 minutes, which is Jailbreak in-game time. It's pretty awful, honestly, considering the fact most of the apartment costs is the stuff that you rob every day. GTA Online do have apartments, but they're permanent and the rent payment doesn't really cost a lot. There's nothing to do in the apartment, it just felt bland. Unlike GTA Online, where you can actually get passed out from drinking too much. You can play radio, which is cool, I guess. You can throw confetti, but I don't have VIP, so I'm not wasting any more money in this game. The apartment concept is really good, but it's extremely underutilized. I mean, in GTA Online, you can start a heist if you bought an apartment. At least in GTA, the heists are fun though, except when you try to play with the random people. So yeah, the apartment is totally blows. Just removed it. I don't see the point of putting in the game for 3 years. I really think the apartment is the reason why my performance is lacking on my potato PC. The game is extremely grindy and I find myself not enjoying it whatsoever. The reward in this game is bad. I just don't seem to progress whenever I rob the bank or anything else. The reward is so minuscule that I just kinda gave up trying. It just kinda loses my appeal from playing this game. There is no teaming in this game. Most of the robbers here is through self-gain and not from COD where your team or your crew can get paid for doing a heist on certain place. You can't even guard the entrance because no one is paying you to do this. While in GTA Online or Payday, everyone get paid for doing the heist. There's seriously nothing in depth for criminal team other than the gun itself. I'm currently using a gaming laptop that I borrowed and I met the same fate during the recording session. I don't know why, but this is problematic. I don't like the ragdoll physics in this game, it's just bad in general. One time I tried skydiving and I dived into the hell itself. Police can glitch into restricted areas that they were not allowed to enter. Please fix this. There should be an alternate way to open instead of using the key card. SWAT Game Pass is not even worth it and I already mentioned it. I guess that's all. I think Jailbreak is a good game, although it has a lot of janky stuff, but you can't even ignore some of them. The developers of the game are pretty awesome. I can give them props for that. They always update the game and give out most of the content. Though it's not perfect, but I can still give them the props for that. The world building itself is pretty awesome, and I don't have any problem with it. It's really great and simplistic, though the prison could use a lot of rework. It just felt stand out for using the same old layout. Seriously, change it. Also, please make the vending machine work. I'm desperate. Anyway, the game could improve better, honestly. Well, I guess that's all for this Jailbreak review. Only a small percentage of people